Well, howdy, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft with Crimo. How you guys doing? How are you doing today? Hope you've had a great week. Check out my signs. They glow in the dark. A little bit of neon here. I just wanted to test out some of the different, whatever this is. Colors and glowing and background and whatever. Signage. Anyway, yeah, look at that. Right there, we got grave dirt for all you vampires out there. It's just regular dirt. And there we have beasts living in buckets. Because apparently I have a lot of beasts living in buckets. Okay, so look at that. I actually went into the Nether the other day to check out the prospects of a blaze farm. And to be perfectly honest, I just don't think I need to build a blaze farm. Or I should say, even though we do have a excellent spot to build a blaze farm, because it's like there's a spawner and it's already enclosed, basically. Like it's like fully enclosed. So there wouldn't be much to do other than sort of dig it out to the right parameters and drop in the water flow. So, but as you can see from the skulls above, I don't know, that whole fortress is kind of just a farm. It's like, it's kind of bizarre how there's just constant spawning of wither skeletons and of course blazes and zombie pigmen. But yeah, there's almost no reason to make a farm, because all I have to do is just like, you just kill a couple, walk around a corner, there's 4 more. Walk around another corner, there's 4 more. They're just constant. Like there's like almost no reason to build a farm other than to have like a controlled area. But whatever. We'll see. That's some what we call late game stuff. This stuff has been cooking forever. Oh, now finally almost done. That's because I made all of these bricks, more bricks. I don't know why. I just like to have bricks on hand. I like the brick texture. Okay, so, first thing is, mistakes were made. Yeah, technical mistakes were made in trying to record this episode. And so this is not going to be a normal episode as far as having like time lapses and building going on, because mistakes were made, whether it was me or my machine or replay mod, or all kinds of things went wrong. And so this is the second time I've actually recorded the opening or whatever. This is the second time I'm recording, like actually talking to you guys, because the first time didn't work. I don't know. I can't get into. I don't even know. I didn't want to talk about it. It was a mess. So I built something out there. Outside of there, I built something outside this door. But I'm just going to have to show it to you, give a little tour, and that'll be it for the build. But I did want to, I had a plan for today. So let's jump over to the, I have some tools here that need to be mended. So, we could talk about this real quick. Talking about mending. I do have, where's my box? So see that? I got Unbreaking on there, and I also got it on the other one, which I guess I have to take it out of here too, because I can't roll over a rollover inside of the rollover. I got Unbreaking on there too. So let's go, we'll go over here real quick. So this episode is kind of like, I guess it's kind of more like it's more like a stream basically, because I'm just gonna sort of ramble, and there won't be much to edit to. Sorry about that, but it happens sometimes. Maybe I subconsciously wanted a break from editing. I don't know. Also, yeah, I've got actual jobs the next couple of weeks, maybe even couple of months. They're sort of spread out, but I will have some editing gigs and live stream production gigs that I'll be doing. So some of these episodes might end up even not coming out on a as I said in the beginning, I don't have a regular schedule. I've maintained one up to now, but hey, whenever an episode comes out is when it's supposed to come out. Look at this. So this is our Fletcher, which we already had. And hold on. Gary, you in your hole? Just making sure. This is our cartographer who we had. And then I added this dude because I needed Unbreaking. I wanted to get Unbreaking. Now, I got Unbreaking 2. Let's talk about two things here real quick. So remember how I was saying I had an issue with like the villager taking 10 minutes to pick up a job from a job site? Like they drop down here and I'd put the job here and they would literally sit here for 10 minutes and then they would take the job. And I was like, okay, maybe that's because Gary is frightening them with his, you know, zombified gaze. So that's why I turned all these corners or all these stretches into powered or, you know, powerable, switchable length so I could push the villagers around. We talked about that. And I would bring the villager around and stick him right here, kind of where this dude is, which he doesn't have a name, but Mr. Fletcher. And then I would put a job site there, namely a lectern. And I'd stick it up here and it would still take him like 10 minutes. And I was like, dude, what is happening? And what I discovered is when the villager, the librarian sitting here, don't go too far. I dug up this track and I dropped the lectern there and he instantly, that was my finger snap. He instantly took the job. So I was able to break and place and he worked like normal. So there's something to do with, I don't know what there's something to do with. I don't understand why this works, maybe because it's the end of a track and there's no track versus being here where he's kind of stuck and the lectern would go there and then he wouldn't pick it up. And by breaking this track and dropping the lectern there, there's something to do with, I don't know, like maybe this is like an open gate sort of for the mob AI as far as the villager goes. I'm not sure, but anyway, it worked flawlessly. So pretty wonderful to know that. I actually could put this on a piston and like move it in and out. But check now, let's talk about statistics. So why do I have Unbreaking 2 instead of Unbreaking 3? Well, yeah, let's take a look. Stats and items and times mined. Let's find the lectern. It'll be somewhere near the top here, I think. Right there. Look at that number. I'll zoom in on that. 395 times. Now, granted, I do have, you know, that mending villager, but he only took, literally I got the mending trade within six breaks of the lectern. And now I've placed a couple of lecterns around the world, you know, here and there, whatever. So let's be liberal and say I've placed and broken 50 lecterns, which I think is probably high. I've probably done it, maybe in the realm of 20 to 30, but let's say 50. So 345 times for this one dude, and I never once got Unbreaking 3. I also never once saw Protection 4. Out of 350 rerolls on the lectern, it took so long of just breaking and placing the lectern, and I saw Unbreaking 2 came up 3 times. The third time it came up, I said, that's it. I'm taking Unbreaking 2, and I'll just double, you know, put the books together. That's fine. It does leave me very concerned, though, for Protection 4, because I didn't see that come up a single time. I saw Smite 5 come up once. I saw Sharpness 5 come up once. I also never saw Efficiency 4 come up. 350 times, I never saw Efficiency 4 or Efficiency 5. 350 rolls of the dice. That is pretty ludicrous. So yeah, frustration just made me finally just give up and just take the Unbreaking 2. I was like, you know, it's my own time. I don't have time. I'm not rushing. I can just, but I was like, dude, 350 times. I was like, I can't sit here for another 40 minutes and place and break lecterns. I just couldn't do it. Anyway, so these 3 guys here are all ready for houses. Now, I knew I was planning on the 2 back there to build houses, but now I got to come up with a unbreaking librarian's mansion or whatever he's going to live in. So anyway, that's the tale of Unbreaking 2 or the tale of Unbreaking 3. Anyway, oh yes. Baby Shenanigans, or Drotaru as I know her, was kind enough to point out to me that this right here, these trapdoors together, look like an open duck's mouth. Alrighty then. Try to unsee that now. Oh boy. I tell you, the world is sometimes sadistic. Okay. So my off Minecraft topic of today. So I'm gonna like run out this door and not show you guys the build, so I can reveal it later. I figure I would tell you my little. I have another documentary recommendation because we were talking about documentaries the other day. Are there no? I should put lights there and take out that torch. That would be cool. Yeah. So I did think of another documentary that I saw recently. It's a documentary series. It is on Netflix, and it is called Heist. Now, there's a lot of heist movies everywhere, and this is a Netflix documentary series called Heist, simply Heist, and it has 6 episodes. It tells 3 stories. Each story is comprised of 2 30-minute episodes. So it's a comfortable watch where you can, watch a 30-minute. Do I have redstone over there? I do. So you can watch a 30-minute episode and then, take a break, whatever, watch another one now. These are 3 stories detailing real world heists. They all happened in the US, and they all happened in the last, well, I guess in the last 30 years, maybe. And in fact, the first story, the first 2 episodes, that particular woman who pulled that heist off, she had a partner. I remember her. They actually showed clips of her face on a TV show called America's Most Wanted. And I remember the clips of her. I was like, oh, I recognize that face from like the, early 90s or whatever. It was just really bizarre. So the documentary includes interviews with all of the actual participants, which tells you something right off the bat, right? So it's not really a spoiler. Like, all of the people, I mean, you understand that they got caught at some point because they are doing the interviews. They're telling their own story. All 3 of the stories are really interesting to me. Like the first one is a heist in Las Vegas. I think it's to date the largest single heist in Vegas history, and I think it was for around $3.5 million. That was taken in cash. The second heist it's just not, they're also very, very, they're just super entertaining because they're very interesting. The second heist happened in Miami, and it was for $7 million. And the third heist, interesting enough, really isn't about the money. It has to do with stolen whiskey, which it sounds kind of dumb, but it's probably the least compelling of the 3 stories, but in and of itself, by itself, it's pretty compelling. It's pretty interesting. Now, another thing that the series does really well, and I typically do not like documentaries that dramatize or have dramatized cinematic, sort of replacement scenes. Like they might film a scene completely fabricated, sort of in the style of a TV show or a movie, to kind of, tell the story. And I typically don't like that in documentaries, but for whatever reason, and it might be interesting for me, even just for myself, to sort of dissect this, maybe on microphone one day, we could talk about filmmaking techniques or whatever. That might be interesting to find out, like, what did I enjoy about it? But I really liked their cinematic takes, their quote unquote dramatizations of the actual events. They were shot and directed really well. So they're compelling that way. And then they really mix really seamlessly with the real world footage and the interviews and everything. And I don't know, it's just done well. So it's a well done series, and I would say the overall theme, probably the series, is that even when you get away with it, crime still doesn't pay. And that's another aspect that I really liked about the series, which was it really humanizes. It's just about the humanity of of just being a person and pulling off like a major crime, but really this person is a person, and they're interesting, and they're just a regular, I'm not sure how to encapsulate it more than just, it really delves into just the humanity of being, this person. And the heist is not secondary to the story, but it really is, I don't know, it's just very human, the storytelling. And it's pretty emotional, and especially in the first and the third stories are pretty emotional. Not over the top, but I feel that you do end up, if not identifying, you identify with some aspect of the subject of those stories. In all three, I think you're able to identify as a viewer, as a human being. You're able to identify with some aspects of each one of these quote unquote criminals. Because they're people first, right? Everyone's a person first, and then they're, whatever action they've done is an action they've done, or whatever. Anyway, I'm not trying to, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but anyway, I was very impressed, I found it very compelling. I've recommended this series to quite a few people, and I haven't talked to anyone who hasn't enjoyed the series. Most people say that the third story is the least compelling of the three. So in a way, maybe you want to watch the third story, the episodes 5 and 6. Maybe you want to watch those first, and then watch episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I don't want to give out any spoilers, because the stories are pretty spectacular. They're very, very interesting, and I don't even know if I should even just give a precursor to any of it, because they're so interesting. I probably won't say anything. You can just, if you feel like checking it out, check it out. I think you'll find something to enjoy. Now, another thing I was going to say was I personally have a love for the heist genre in cinema and storytelling, and I think I credit Disney with that. I think when I was young, I think the first movie that it's not necessarily the first movie I saw in theaters. It might be, but it's definitely the first one that I remember having. It's the earliest memory I have of movie going, and that was I was probably 4 years old, maybe 5. I saw Star Wars when I was 6. Now, when I was 4 or 5, I saw Peter Pan. Disney's Peter Pan, and to this day, Peter Pan is, one of my favorite stories. I love the actual written book of Peter Pan is fantastic, and of course, it's like Lord of the Rings, and how Lord of the Rings is sort of the basis for all modern fantasy. I think Peter Pan, of course, Treasure Island, and Peter Pan are sort of the archetypes for the classical. Our modern fixation with the pirate genre, right? But anyway, so Peter Pan is one of my favorite movies. Most versions of Peter Pan I really enjoy. Hook was, whatever, kind of I didn't mind Hook as much as everybody else. I did hate the food fight. That was pretty terrible. But there's a 2013 Peter Pan live action movie that I really like as well. It stars Jason Isaacs as Captain Hook. Jason Isaacs, of course, is one of the Malfoy. He's Malfoy's dad in Harry Potter. He's an excellent Captain Hook, and the kid who plays Peter Pan. So the kid was, I think the first time I saw the kid in the movie, he was in the first feature film. I think he only directed 2 feature films. The first feature film directed by Bill Paxton, called Frailty, which is another excellent small scale. I guess it's a horror movie, but it's not really, it's not really gore or anything. It's just, boy, what an excellent film, Frailty. Anyway, so the kid who plays Peter Pan is in Frailty. He plays the younger brother. Okay, so anyway, that's Peter Pan. But yeah, that's crime mode for you right there. We're going to talk about something else before I talk about the thing I even started talking about, which was how I think Disney instilled in me the love for heist movies. And that's because I think the second movie I saw in the theater that I remember as a very small child was Robin Hood. So I have a love in my heart for Peter Pan and for Robin Hood. And, Robin Hood is all about steal from the rich and give to the poor, all that sort of thing. But he does, in that movie, he pulls off a couple of heists. And I think they were I don't know, it must have just captivated me as a kid. And I've always liked the heist movies and cat burglar movies and stuff. It's one of my favorite genres. And anyway, so the Heist documentary series is rather amazing. The stories are rather spectacular. They're just far out, man. They're really, really interesting and human and relatable in weird ways. And anyway, I just highly recommend it. And I'd love to talk more about that. Are my things growing here? Slowly but surely. I'd like to farm some of these up because I want to do something up here. But anyway, all right, here we are. Back in the house. We're going to walk out there, do a little tour. And anyway, yeah, since Heist is on Netflix, maybe it'll be more accessible than the Crime of the Century to a lot of people, because probably more people have, guaranteed more people subscribe to Netflix than subscribe to HBO. Okay, so... All right, let's go look at the builds that I did, and am not able to show you the process of building. So I finally, now this path right here, I believe this pattern might change. I might go with more of an all stone, with a little bit of moss path. That's generally the pathway system, because I think the stone actually contrasts nicely. Oh, inflection. Yeah. Anyway, I think the stone, I threw the stone in here first, and then I ripped it out and I continued this from over there. And now the paths are not going to be just, a path with flat grass next to it. They're going to have, borders, wall sections and, all sorts of things. It's not just going to be this. This is why it looks kind of dumb. But it also, though, might still be stone. But it works like right here. So for this build, the transition will probably turn into this path style, which I just continued that way. So anyway, I built a bee farm finally. And it works like crazy. It is insane. So I don't know how many bees are in here. I've got 5 hives in each side. This side definitely only has maybe 6 bees, maybe 7, probably 6. This one might have 15. I'm not really certain. But yeah, so I'll show you how, it's a typical functioning, the way that it functions is the way that all the bee farms function. So we got a little Harry Potter floating candles. I don't know why. Since I was able to make candles, I was like, finally I make candles. Okay, so this looks like there's not too much. As you can see, we have the cactus coming in here as well. Yeah, I already took out, I think, six stacks of blocks, I think, or 5 stacks. I put them over in the house. So this works phenomenally well. And I think what I might need to do is maybe start putting bottles in this side, so we could start getting some honey blocks. I literally have never even interacted with a bottle of honey or made a honey block or anything like that. So anyway, this is the build. Yeah, I was going to build, like in my creative world, I built the function and then I was going to make a building around it, like a greenhouse. And it just ended up looking, it was okay. I don't know. I just wasn't into it. I was feeling sort of lethargic on Minecraft in that day when I was doing it. And then I realized that I had fully decorated in between and everything, the mechanics. And I was like, oh, this could just be a pathway and I could throw a little gazebo over it. So under here we have, the campfire thingies, which maybe don't need to be there. They could maybe only need to be on the edges, but they work really well. You know, it's a good look. It's a good look. And then I buried all the machinery under leaves, which of course your first question might be like, but Mo, how are you going to refill the, refill these things? Well, I filled them all up and I'm just not going to worry about it. And when I do have to refill them, I do have to actually take out the leaves and refill them. So yes, it's not an efficient way to refill them. I don't know. I just didn't bother with it. Yeah. So the idea is that, they're just here. We can see them when they're out. Maybe it's going to turn nighttime. I'm not sure. But there will be edges, like this will be sort of hemmed in with bushes and stuff, just like it is here. This sort of wall design. I'm going to do something. It's definitely there's going to be sections of walls along these paths and that go between houses and different things that will incorporate the bricks and the iron bars. That'll be sort of the visual motif here and there. I don't want to overdo it with the bricks, but anyway, yeah. So I got the floating candles. They're just there. I just thought they looked cool floating here. I don't know why. It's magical candles. I just think it's neat. But whatever. I was just playing around with different colors because I really don't know what colors to use and stuff. But anyway, so this is a bee farm, and they use the azalea flower leaf blocks to make honey with, which I thought was a pretty cool thing. I didn't realize they would do that, and I guess they would use these as well, the azalea flowered bush. And then I also built a cactus farm because now these little lamps, whatever, that's not going to stay there. I just was messing around with those. But the actual cactus farm, I really wish I had the footage of building this cactus farm because I rebuilt this thing literally 4 times. The first thing I wanted to do was a cascading series of like platforms that had 4 cacti in each platform. And there'd be 3 platforms and you'd see like a waterfall that carried the cactus blocks down into the next one and then down into the next one. It would go down. But the math and the geometry of the way the water flows just did not work. And it was a very frustrating experience. I shouldn't say frustrating. It was a learning experience as far as that went. Because I didn't build this. I thought, this won't be that hard to do. I don't need to pre-build it in the design world. It'll just work. And it did not work at all. And then I built this out of the black stone. I had glass in here and then I tore that down, and now I'm really happy because what happened was I put the glass in here. I had like green glass going across because I thought it needed glass to maybe stop the cacti blocks from dropping out, and they may still drop out once in a while. It just doesn't matter. I just don't need that much cactus, right? I mean, it'll still generate plenty. But then when I was coming through here, I didn't like the green glass, and when I cut the green glass out, I noticed that the cactus itself, the cacti, their green worked really well, and it looked more natural just because you see the cacti, right? It's a plant. It has the cool plant texture. And it just worked. It just looks cool. Like I'm really pretty happy with this. It was definitely a process of placing a lot of different blocks and then switching them out. Like I had spruce trapdoors in here to begin with, and then I ripped those out, and I might have tried oak, and then I settled on the dark oak, and then, anyway, and then I smooshed a bunch of plants all over the place, and I actually really enjoy it. I'm happy with this one. I think it looks cool. It's most of these builds are going to be buried in greenery because that's just the aesthetic for this little neighborhood. This Axe Harbor is definitely just going to be, green because I live in a desert. As much as California doesn't want to say it's a desert, Southern California is a desert, and we just don't have a lot of trees and leaves, and it's just so lush and awesome and so much cooler here in Minecraft. I can just feel the temperature change here. Anyway, so got some more turtle eggs, got a little candle, got some candles down here because I've got so many candles now, so it's wonderful. So yeah, I don't know. Hope you guys like that build. You guys let me know what you think. I actually really like this front of it with those particular trapdoors and those trapdoors on top and the weird flat roof. And I don't know. I dig it. Yeah, that's right. You agree? You still don't have anything I want. I do like the bee farm. Now, I will have to say, we've talked a lot about how Minecraft sounds are wonderful. And they are wonderful. these bee sounds are so directional in the headphones and such high quality that they actually give me a bit of a complex. Because when I literally hear the buzz and I will like jerk my shoulder like, oh, there's a bug on my shoulder. It's kind of annoying because I have a weird twitch with bugs. I don't like bugs very much, which is probably, one of the good things about living in a desert. There's not a lot of bugs. I go back east, especially in the summertime. Oh, God, I don't know how people deal with all that, all those insects. So anyway, I think that will wrap it up. And I'll finish my steak right there. That dude's over there jumping hard on the ground trying to wreck something, I'm sure. Anyway, guys, I hope this episode was okay. Thanks for bearing with me. And like I said, be prepared. You don't have to be prepared. I mean, whatever. I don't mean to put it on you. But the episodes might not be weekly over the next couple months. They might go to bi-weekly, like once every other week, or like once every 10 days. I'm not sure. It just depends on I don't know how much workload I'm going to have from these, day job sort of things that are coming up. So I need to take that into account. And then of course I have other ideas of other things to build. I've got lists, huge lists of things to do. All right, guys, I hope you have a great next few days. I hope life treats you well. And I will look forward to seeing you when I see you. See ya.